Welcome to Lead with AC episode 5. Today we're talking about how to set goals that we can achieve. We're talking about principles of goal settings that will allow us to achieve the things that we always wanted to do. If you're anything like me, you might be wondering, why set goals? I used to. There was a time where I actually was excited to set goals, but for some reason I would either fail at them real quickly or I would just kind of forget about them before I knew them, I was off track or just stopped doing them. And then at the end of the year, I was like, oh my, I had set a goal. And now I just find myself not really doing goals in general. Well, my hope today is to inspire you to pick up goal setting again. The reason for that is that when we set goals, what we're doing is we're making our vision of the future tangible. We're taking steps to actually achieve it. So if you stop setting goals, I hope that today you say, let me start setting goals that align with my vision for the future so that I can start walking towards where I desire to go. In our past episodes, we've talked about building a vision for your future. We've talked about how to discover and the power of our why so that we can live lives that matter. If you haven't watched those episodes, I would love for you to go back and watch them. The links for those videos are in the description box below. And the reason I'm asking you to go back and watch them is that they will help you discover the vision of your life. They will help you discover the power of why, and they will help you discover your why. And we want to set goals around the vision of our life. We want to set them around what matters to us. Goal setting is meant to be a way of aligning ourselves towards a future path that we desire to go, towards a vision that we see for ourselves. If your life is not headed in the direction that you intended to go, the good news is that today we can take steps in the right direction and we can set goals to actually get us to that future. We can't do anything about the past and what's been, but we can do something about the future and what will be. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Today is the single most important day of your life. Why? Because today you can make the decisions that will lead to better tomorrow. Today you can decide the direction that you will go. So here's what I'll be talking about today. We'll be talking about the two types of goals that there are. We'll be talking about some really good principles of goal settings, which is the most vital part about this whole exercise. And we're gonna do some examples of how to set goals as well. Before we begin, I wanna encourage you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you could know when we're releasing a video or when we're going live and planning on hosting some live events in the near future. I would also love for you to share this with a friend or share it on social media. That would be awesome. Thank you to all of you who subscribed last week. I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you for joining me on this journey of growth. Lead with AC exists for you. It exists to add value to you. I believe that you are a world changer, and I want to inspire you to become the you that you've been made and called to be. The you that's hiding in there, waiting for the opportunity to come out because someone's empowered you, someone's invested in you, and someone's released you to do what you've been called to do. You are a world changer. So let's talk about the two types of goals that there are. When it comes to goal setting, there are two types of goals: achievement goals and habit goals. These two have different results and purpose behind them, but they can work together to strengthen one another. And it's vital to define what type of goal we're actually pursuing, we're seeking to accomplish. It's also very important that we define our terms so that we know what kind of goal we need to set. Achievement goals are goals about something we want to achieve. Things like graduating from a master program or starting a business or running a marathon. These are things that when you think about them, once you achieve them, you come to the end of them. Some achievement goals are things that when you finally get to the end, you're done with that thing. It's a one-off, you've done it. Even though it might be an achievement goal that takes years to achieve, like saving up $10,000 or something like that. A habit goal is a goal that you are trying to build into your routine. It's a goal that you want to repeat in life, a routine that you are building, something that becomes part of your daily, weekly, or monthly cycle. For example, you might want to make a habit of writing, or build a habit of running, or make a habit of reading. This habits goal will be an ongoing thing. There is no end in sight for them, but other things are built around them or because of them. Habit goals can be tweaked as you're going. It's not like one set, forever set, but the purpose of a habit goal in the long run should be to build the habits that lead you to live out the vision that you have for your life, to really make those habits automatic in your life so you don't have to think about them. Achievement goals and habit goals, like I mentioned earlier, they can work together. They go hand in hand. You can pair them to succeed in your goals and have a greater impact when it comes to achieving them. There are certain achievement goals that the best way to accomplish them is to set habit goals for them, which will help you to be on track and actually increase your chance of success. For example, a habit goal that you might be trying to accomplish might be, let's say, the dream of writing a book. That's an achievement goal because there's an end, the book, but the way to do that would be to build a habit goal. So you could say, I'm gonna write 500 words a day, Monday through Friday. I'm gonna aim to do that. That's my goal. To build a habit of writing 500 words Monday through Friday so that I could hit my achievement goal. If you do that, what you come across is that a habit of writing 500 words Monday through Friday will lead you to have written in a year 130,000 words. That's a huge number of words. Writing a book, something that for a lot of us seems impossible, becomes manageable the moment that we shrink it down to a habit goal that is doable. So the principle that I could illustrate here is this: how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And in case writing a book is something that you want to do, if you take what I just told you, and an average book is about 70,000 words, let's say, and you write Monday through Friday, 500 words, taking the weekend off so you could enjoy the weekend off, by the end of the year, you had 130,000 words. That's almost 2 books. That's the power of a habit goal working for your good and towards your life's vision. So here's some application questions that can help us in our journey. When you think of the vision of your life, what do you see? Now, when you look at that, what type of goal do you need to build in order to achieve the vision of your life? Is it an achievement goal? Is it, I need to go back to school and get a degree? Or is it, I need to get out of debt by the end of next year? Or is it, I need to start a business in order to do it? Or is it a habit goal? I need to build some habits in my life of being healthier. So I'm gonna start building a habit goal of running Monday, Wednesday, Friday in order to get to a healthier place in my life. Or is it a combination of both? Like you plan on writing a book, so you are gonna work with the achievement goal through the habit goal so that you could write that book. Now let's talk about some real good principles of setting goals, and this is the most important part of our conversation. When it comes to setting goals, there are different goal setting systems, but they are all based on principles. Systems like the SMART goal system or Michael Hyatt's SMARTER system are principle-based systems. I personally use Hyatt's system, and that's the one that we are going to kind of break down these principles from. He's smarter than I am, so I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'd rather share the knowledge that I've acquired from him. If you're wondering what SMART stands for, it's an acronym for specific, measurable, action-oriented, relevant, and time-bound. Hyatt's system of goal modifies the SMART system above and adds 2 more principles, and he calls it SMARTER, which stands for specific, measurable, actionable, risky, that's a change from above, time-keyed, exciting, and relevant. If you're looking for a great book on how to build a vision for your life and how to set goals that go that align with it, I would recommend highly Michael Hyatt's book, Your Best Year Ever. Principle number 1, be specific about your goal. This principle is all about clarity. If you aren't specific about what you desire to do, you have no direction to run towards to. If you're really confused about your goal, you're gonna lack focus. And confusion invites lack of focus, and lack of focus invites not achieving, not knowing what direction you're going. So be specific about what you want to achieve. So for example, if you desire to read more books this year, don't write as a goal, read more books, because that's not really specific. Read 25 books, right? By December 31st. Now that's become real specific, 25 books. Now you can make that even more specific by going, read 25 books about leadership by December 31st. See, we've gone from just saying a very broad statement, read more books, to a very specific statement, read 25 books about leadership by December 31st. By adding the number of books that you plan to read, you've made it measurable, which is principle number 2, make it measurable. The number 25 for the amount of book written is a measurable number. You know if you're getting there, you know if you're lagging behind, and you know if you're blowing right through that goal as you're going through the year, because you actually have something to measure. Measurable goals give us direction towards what we're trying to accomplish. It gives us a finish line. So when we set goals, we have to be intentional in making sure that they are measurable. That's the only way to know if we're winning, if we're hitting our target. Making it measurable is a step needed for both type of goals. So I would encourage you to think and work through these questions. How can I make this goal as measurable as possible? What finish line or accountability line can I add here that will keep me on track towards my goal? For a habit goal, this might seem a little more difficult, but it's vital as well. So let's say you want to make a habit of running. You could make that habit of running really measurable by saying, run 3 times a week. Specifically now, we're going even deeper, right? 3 times is a measurable number of a habit you're doing, but you could even make it more specific by going, run 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now that we've done that measure, we can know what target to hit. Principle number 3, action oriented. Our goal needs to be action oriented rather than passive. When writing your goals, and yes, write them down as precise and as concise as you can be. But when you write them down, lead with action verbs. For example, read, write, pray, pay are action words. These are verbs that are about doing, verbs that set you in motion. The opposite of this would be to write goals based on our desires and our wants. Oh, I desire to be healthier. Well, what does that actually mean? How does that translate into actionable steps? The desire to be healthy could just stay there. My goal is to be healthier this year. Well, how? When we turn that into an action, we could say, my goal is to be healthier this year by eating salads Monday through Friday for lunch, instead of going out and buying food. So as you write your goals, write it in such a way that you're leading with the action. I gave us some example of that already. Eat a salad for lunch. Eat is the verb. Run 3 times a week. Write 500 words. Pray when I wake up in the morning. Those are action-led goals. Principle number 4, risk is your friend. Now this is one principle that I learned from Hyatt. He calls it risky, but I'm saying risk is your friend. And what I mean by that is that you only miss the shots that you actually take. You can't miss a shot you don't take. But we're all afraid often of taking risks. In reality, risk becomes our friend in order to help us achieve our goal. What I'm really saying here by saying that risk is your friend is to set your goal a little bit beyond your comfort zone. The temptation for all of us is to set goals in our comfort zone because we don't want to fail them. We want to achieve them. The problem with that is that they get boring and our brain goes, not worth it, because we know we could do it. It's easy. There's not going to be anything. So when you're setting your goal, ask yourself, okay, what's my comfort zone? And then go, if I was going to do the extra mile, if I was going to go the extra mile on this, how would that look like? And then stretch yourself to do that extra mile. Just don't be unrealistic and go 10 miles over what you could actually do given your time and effort. Risk is your friend because it challenges you to go for it. It forces you to rise above the challenge. Principle number 5, time it. Now by this, I don't mean to put a timer on it, although you can, but rather in that you schedule it, that you put a time to it, that you've identified when you're doing it, and at times for how long. Here's the thing, if we schedule something, it can give us a time trigger that when the time arrives, we know it's time to go. So for example, if our goal is to run 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we can say, my goal is to run 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 30 minutes, starting at 7:30 a.m. So we set our time. Now we know that when 7:30 hits, we're gonna go on that 30-minute run. You've timed it. So if you got a time trigger that once it hits, it's time to go. Principle number 6, exciting. Make sure your heart is inspired by what you're trying to accomplish and that your mind can see the direction and the results of it. If the goal doesn't help you achieve your greater life vision, then it won't be inspiring to you. But if you can see the result of the goal and where it leads you, it will excite you. And then you really want to go for it. Make sure your goal excites you and keep your why at the center. Write down your motivations as you're underneath your goal. Why do I want to run 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 a.m.? Because I want to be healthier and I want to live longer. And no one buries someone who's moving. And I want to be in my kid's life for longer. So I want to run 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 a.m. because I want to live longer and I want to look good. That too. So make it exciting. Knowing your why will keep you motivated through the journey as well. Principle number 7, relevant. Does the goal make sense with your season of life and with what's going on in your life? Does it make sense with the schedule that you have right now? Or will it lead you to disappointment because you can't really fit it into your life with everything that's going on in your life and everything that's going on in your current situation? We need to ensure that our goals are not working against each other, but they're working hand in hand. We really want to build goals that are going along with the vision of our life. So make sure you set goals that are not in opposition to or in competition, but that are really working to achieve the greater vision that you have for your life together. So I would recommend, and this is following Hyatt's recommendation, not to set more than 10 to 12 goals per year. And then to even prioritize that based on your schedule, based upon what you desire to do and what's more essential for you, to break that down into quarterly goals and saying, okay, I'm gonna focus on 3 to 4 goals this year, this quarter. And then in the next quarter, I will focus on 3 to 4 other goals. That way you actually are able to set yourself for success in making sure that you're not doing so much that you can't achieve them and you quit, or that you are doing so much that they're all competing against each other and you're not really able to give yourself to them the way that you should. Remember, your life's vision will not just be completed in an eye blink. It will take time, determination, sacrifice, commitment, and focus. But when you keep the why and the vision center, and when your goals align to them, then you will see how your vision starts coming into reality more and more. Now let's set some goals so that we could all see statements that are precise about goal setting. Let's start with a habit goal. And remember, the precision of language here is vital. The goal is to journal daily, either in the morning after my devotional or in the evening before I go to bed, about what's going on in my life. Let's apply our principle. Is it actionable? Well, yes, the goal is to journal. Okay, so it's a specific. Yeah, I'm journaling about what happened in the day, what I learned, what I feel, and what's going on in my life. What about measurable, risky, and timed? It is all this since it is daily, which is measurable. I could track that. Risky, since I'm setting out to do something which requires consistency and commitment. And time, since it happens either in the morning after I do my devotional or in the evening before I go to bed. But is it exciting and relevant? Well, that's a personal question. But for me, it is, because journaling will allow me to turn experience into insight. That's what John Maxwell teaches. And it's relevant because it's about what's going on in my life. Now, I could increase my chance of actually doing this goal by buying myself a journal like Michael Hyatt's full focus journal, or if I currently have a journal, starting by writing out the dates of this entire week. That way I'm already committed on paper to those days that I will have to journal. Now let's set an achievement goal. And here's the goal stated. Read 46 books about business and or leadership by December 31st. Now let's check it with our principles. Is the goal actionable? Yes, it starts with the verb read. I'm going to read. That's the action that I'm committing to doing. What about specifics? Yes, we're doing books about business or leadership. Is it measurable, risky, and exciting? It's all those. We're doing 46 books. That's a risk because we're really going a book a week, and it's time. We know the end of it by December 31st. And given the amount of weeks we have left in the year, that means that I'm committed to reading a book a year. So it matches all of the principles. Here's another habit goal. Family game night every Friday night starting at 6:30 p.m. This is a habit goal because there is no end in sight. This is something that I'm trying to build into the weekly rhythm of our family. If you test the principles, you will see that it fits, right? It's family game night every Friday night. It's a game night that's happening every Friday night. It's specific, it's the whole family. It has a starting point, which is 6:30 p.m. It's measurable because I know every Friday is gonna come no matter what. So if you test the principles, you will see that it works. And here's one last one, an achievement goal. Save $10,000 for emergency use starting February 14th. This is an achievement goal because it has an end to it when it comes to the amount. Once I hit that amount, I'm done. I've met the goal. But it also fits all the principles because it is timed, it's specific in amount, it has a measure, I know how much I need to measure, and it's actionable. I'm saving, right? Save 10,000. So that means that I'm gonna have to move money from my check-in into my savings. Now I'd love for you to share in your comments one of your goals using the principles above, making sure that it's specific, measurable, action-oriented, risky. Risk is your friend, remember that. That is timed, that you wrote a goal that is exciting to you and relevant to your life. Remember, when it comes to writing achievable goals, precision of language is essential to achieve them. So make sure your language is nice and clear and precise. Start and lead with that action verb. Run, pray, eat, save, go, plan, whatever it is, action verb, let it lead. Next week, we'll be launching into a 3 to 4 series on COVID lessons. Can you believe that it's gonna be a year since COVID hit? That's kind of crazy to think. And I'd love for you to help me here by giving me in the comments section some of the lessons that you've learned because of COVID. I have 3 lessons planned, but I want to plan a 4th based on your responses. So help me out here, drop me some comments, and let me know what you've learned because of COVID. And for now, I'm so grateful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Share this with a friend if you know it will benefit them in setting some goals. And until next time, AC out.